The show's co-creator said in a joint statement, quote, "We will always cherish the joy, the light, the blinding intelligence he brought to every moment, not just to his work, but in life as well." The medical examiner says the cause of death remains unknown, although we did get a report that the toxicology report was done. We don't have the results yet. Perry was 54 years old. For more on his life and his legacy, we're joined by Emily Longeretta. She is the senior TV features editor of Variety. Thank you so much, Emily, for joining us. I know that we talked about his time on Friends. Of course, many people will know him from that and some of his great films, Whole Nine Yards. But how did he want to be remembered?
Good morning. I think that's a really important thing to know. He really wanted to be remembered as someone who helped someone. I mean, he released this memoir last year and detailed all of his struggles and how intense they were through the years with alcohol abuse and with drug abuse. And he had said in the book that he really hoped that people would remember that he was resilient and he was loving and wanted to help people almost above his role in Friends. Little did he know that, I mean, I think many people like me would know that his role in Friends also helped people. He created this comfort and this laughter and this tone that no one else could have done. I mean, no one else could have been Chandler Bing, but he had many, many accomplishments through his life. And I think that his biggest one is that he has a great heart and he wanted to help people and he was helping people.
Yeah, you know, I think when you read his book and some of the interviews that he's done, it is absolutely remarkable how hilarious he was, how natural he was during,
That's it, Amber.
you know,
He's
during the period of time that Friends was on. And he talks about how he is struggling with overwhelming anxiety every night, and he is essentially self-medicating so he can like sort of get through the day, and he's flawless. It really is. I don't even know what the word is for that. It's an incredible
Genius. Yeah.
talent.
Yeah, it's this charm and this comedic timing that he had that it just radiated off the screen. And it really made people feel like you were one of the friends. And I think that was a lot of credit to him. I mean, he made Chandler Bing into what it was. He brought that cadence to his voice that really you can't really hear a Friends line or you can't think of Friends without hearing Chandler Bing's voice. And that's something that Matthew Perry did. And especially because it was on at a time where TV was different. It was must-see TV. There were 25 million viewers a week they were averaging, which aren't numbers we see anymore. And he really was in everyone's living room and making everyone feel loved.
You know, we often say this, right, that your childhood dies when somebody that you admired, you know, dies. But in this particular case, I don't know. I walked into our studio this morning at CBS Mornings, and it had, you know, Matthew Perry, 1969, 2023. And I was born in 1969. I remember it's not just Friends. I remember he was in Charles in Charge. He'd had a career before Friends, and all of a sudden it just sort of hit me because when Friends premiered, I was just a couple of years out of college, just like they were. And so the things that were depicted on that show, even though some of them were fantastical, there was a strain of my reality in watching that show. And so I'm curious what has been the reaction, not just to people, not just for the folks that worked with him, but just fans in general. What have they been saying and reacting to his death?
I think exactly what you just said is how people are reacting around the world. We all start thinking about how we related to it like the same way. I think there's a way that every single person has this feeling that they have when they read this news. And I think there's been a lot of really beautiful tributes, like you said, from, you know, of course, people that worked with him, guest stars on the show, the creators of the show released beautiful statements. But more than that, fans, journalists, reporters have talked about how he has just been the kindest person and the impact that his shows have had. And like you said, it's not just Friends. I mean, even after Friends, he had some great roles on The West Wing and on Go On, The Odd Couple. He popped up on a lot of stuff and he never stopped working. And then once you read his memoir last year and saw that he was having a really, really difficult time and he was still creating this amazing content and really still making people laugh day after day. And everyone has been talking about how no matter what, any room he walked in, you were going to be laughing no matter what.
We haven't heard from the main cast members of Friends. I presume they're sort of taking their time, but what can you tell us about that?
Yes, I think that they are definitely taking a moment to themselves, as they should. As we all know, when we report on deaths like this in this industry, everyone is really eager to hear from the people who worked with them. And while we got the statement from Warner Brothers and his family released a statement, I think it's also these people that are also processing this. And not only we all lost Chandler Bing, we all lost this person that we didn't know, but they lost Matthew Perry, who, and they've all said multiple times, is a brother to them, is a family member. So I think right now we're just kind of waiting on them to come together and release something. And I do believe it'll be soon, but I think everyone's kind of just respecting their privacy right now.
I will say he did an interview last year with Tom Power, and he said this, and we'll wrap it up with these words of Matthew Perry. I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life and a lot of wonderful accolades, but the best thing about me is if an alcoholic or drug addict comes up to me and says, will you help me? I can say yes and follow up and do it. I want that to be the first thing that's mentioned. I think that's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah, it really is. Emily Longeretta, thank you so much.
Thank you.